Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Jerusalem Mayor Moshe Leon paid tribute to the fallen of Jerusalem today on the one-year anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel. Netanyahu and Leon lit candles at the Iron Sword Monument erected in Jerusalem in honor of the victims of October 7th. Since the attack, more than 40,000 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip, along with more than 1,000 Israelis and more than 2,000 Lebanese. Today, Israel's military said 9 rockets were launched from southern Gaza into Israel, causing injuries. Rocket strikes from Gaza into Israel have been increasingly rare over the past year as Israel has degraded Hamas's military capabilities in its war on that group. In the U.S., fencing went up on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. ahead of rallies related to the anniversary. There are events, vigils, and protests planned. D.C. police are working with other law enforcement agencies to monitor the events. Protests have erupted across the nation since the attack a year ago, including in the D.C. area, where arrests made during demonstrations on college campuses in May sparked controversy. In other national headlines, we send it over to Alan Miller.
Monica, a court in Russia has sentenced a U.S. citizen to nearly 7 years in prison for fighting as a mercenary for Ukraine. 72-year-old Stephen Hubbard of Michigan reportedly pleaded guilty last month. Russian forces detained him in April 2022. Another state media outlet reported a Russian court sentenced another American citizen. Former Marine Robert Gilman received just over 7 years in prison for assaulting a prison official and a state investigator. He's already serving a sentence for attacking a police officer in another alleged incident. The Supreme Court is back in session to hear a new round of oral arguments. Justices agreed to make decisions on 40 appeals so far in the term that will run until next summer. The agenda includes cases on guns, pornography, and transgender medical care. It comes as the justices brace for a slew of last-minute election fights and a new presidential administration that could drag the court deeper into politics. A federal law requiring hospitals to provide emergency abortion care or lose federal funding cannot be enforced in Texas. The law, known as the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, says federally funded hospitals must perform emergency abortions, even in states that ban the procedure. The state of Texas successfully sued the Biden administration over the law, and it was upheld by a lower appeals court. And one of the stories we're working on for First News at 6, we'll have the latest on the wildfire and their impacts on livestock, farmers, and communities. Back to you, Monica.